Look, John, I know you're busy, but the next Fantastic Four issue is almost terminally late. Now, neither of us wants an FF issue that's Stan Lee presents 22 blank pages and some ads.
Mike, I appreciate your position, but I don't have the story for this issue. I've been calling and calling all week, but all I get from the Baxter building is polite apologies.
Well, we gotta do something, John. Jim's standing by, Glynis is waiting. What do I tell them?
Tell them I'm sorry, but I'm not about to risk making up a story. You know the FF hates that. Especially the Thing.
I don't see an alternative. Shooter left me in charge. I don't want my credit to be Mike Higgins, reprint editor.
All right. Give me 24 hours, okay? I'll try the Fantastic Four HQ again, and if I don't get satisfaction, I'll invent a story.
Fine, but don't fail me, John. You've never missed a deadline, but this is real close.
Okay, one more time. Now be there this time, will you guys?
Fantastic Four Incorporated, may I help you, please? Oh, good morning, Mr. Byrne. No, I'm sorry, but the Fantastic Four are still out. No, I still don't know where they are, but I will tell them you called.
Well, at this rate, I'll have to make up some dumb...
John Byrne.
Huh?
John Byrne, I have come for you.
The Watcher?
Okay, honey. I'm off to the Westinghouse shoot. I'll be back around 6. John? John?
Oh, Watcher.
Fear not, Earthman. No harm can befall you here. We are beyond the physical plane, sights that few human eyes have ever beheld.
I appreciate that, sir, but why me?
Because you are the chronicler, John Byrne. Because to you has fallen the task of recording the exploits of the Fantastic Four. And even as we speak, events unfold which may herald their last adventure. So must you report upon the trial of Reed Richards.
I can't believe this. Whew. I wish I had a camera, or at least a sketchbook. Mrs. Richards, what is this? What's happening?
Huh? What the heck are you doing here, Byrne?
Maybe he's come to try and get the story right this time.
Yeah? Well, I think we're talking about something more important than a comic book story.
Well, apparently, the Watcher disagrees with you, kid. Sue?
John, you remember when Reed helped save the life of Galactus months ago? Well, now all the survivors of worlds Galactus consumed want to kill Reed.
Yeah, and we almost had him convinced the big brain done the right thing saving the big G. Then that blasted bird lady turned up and twisted the whole deal.
Bird lady? Oh my gosh, that's Princess Lilandra!
Yes, but these days she's calling herself Majestrix Kiar, whatever that means. We first encountered her some months ago, on the night before we entered the negative zone.
Galactus is the enemy of all that lives, for he destroys those most precious resources, planets capable of supporting life. And by saving him, you have branded yourselves his allies. Should he consume any world known to us, you will be in part responsible, and held responsible to the full extent of Shi'ar law.
What? Oh, to actually threaten the Fantastic Four!
We are Lilandra, Majestrix Shi'ar, an appointed prosecutor. Let the trial begin! Witness, Karant Kiar, Skrull Prelate of the 7th Quadrant.
What the? Where does she get off starting the trial? We ain't even picked a jury yet.
By his own choice, Reed Richards is to be tried by Mandavian procedures, Ben Grimm. The most perfect legal system in the galaxy. See the great glow globes above the court? They monitor the emotions, the judgments of all present. Thus all, accused, witnesses, prosecution, defense, all are judge and jury. And should all the globes turn white at any time, then is the verdict not guilty, and the trial is at an end.
Huh.
Now attend, Ben Grimm. The witness speaks.
I am Karant Kiar. I am prelate of the 7th quadrant of the Skrull Empire. Hear my words, O you gathered races, survivors of the hunger of Galactus. Hear my words and share my anguish and my rage at the death of a world. 16 spans passed. The herald of Galactus approached our homeworld. Every available ship was sent to stop her. One time, Earthlings smashed them all. Thus did Galactus come at last. Forever we Skrulls have feared Galactus and hidden our energies from him. Now there was no hiding, as Galactus sank beneath the planet's crust like the skin of some overripe fruit, split and spilled its blazing juices across the surface. Sinking to the very core, Galactus became a ravenous maw, a living black hole, sucking into itself every iota of planetary mass, only to spew them out a moment later. Drained, emptied of that mystic essence which is the life force of a world. All this we saw on long-range scanners as we raced from 30,000 light years distant. To arrive too late, the throne world was no more. Shattered, lifeless fragments alone left to mark the position of a once proud planet. And it need not have been so! Our Empress, Raquel, our beloved Princess, Anel, 7 billion Skrulls would still be alive, but for the actions of one human, but for Reed Richards!
He's right. If I had not acted, it's almost impossible to comprehend. 7 billion people annihilated in a matter of hours. Evil though the Skrulls may be, it still seems a crime too horrible for even the most contemptible of all the universe's races to suffer. Yet, I did what was right.
The Skrull has spoken, and his is but one small voice crying out its torment in a vast, agonizing symphony of anguish. The prosecution will now show that Reed Richards knew what he did, knew the inevitable consequences of his actions.
One by one, grim survivors, all of that same fate, step forward, recounting the years, the centuries, the millennia of the life of Galactus. For some, the story is as a fresh wound, running red with the blood of billions. Theirs is the voice of rage. For others, the tale is old, handed down from generation to generation in hushed and frightened whispers. At the last are those who have no memories of life on a green and growing planet. Those for whom shipboard life has become all.
Can't say I care much for the way this is going. I said at the time it would have been easier to let Galactus die.
Guard your words, Johnny Storm, lest they count towards your brother-in-law's undoing. I have now a task that only you can perform.
A task? Now you're talking. Flame on!
Your enthusiasm does you justice. Now be gone to realms beyond mortal ken. The defense has need of a very special witness. You must guide him hither.
Watcher, wait! The torch! What? I mean, where have you...
Calm yourself, John Byrne. Have I not promised that all shall be made known to you in time? Take your place. It is time to begin the defense.
You mean the Watcher is going to be Mr. Fantastic's defense counsel? Doesn't that violate his race's code of non-interference?
No. The Watcher says that more than just Reed is on trial here. It is Galactus himself who is being judged. And that makes this trial so important that its eventual outcome will affect even the Watcher's own race.
Hear me now, survivors. I am Uatu, of the race of the Watchers. Mine is a people older than all your histories combined. Ours was a planet of the first to form the the cosmic fires that birth the universe. Long has the being called Galactus been known to us, and long have we sought to comprehend him. Reed Richards' act was based upon his own small comprehension of the cosmic all of Galactus. Reed Richards shall thus be the first to speak now.
How do you plead to the charge here brought against you?
How else can I plead? But guilty.
No! Don't say it, Reed! Don't give up!
Take it easy, Susie. Your Hubbins never quits that easy. He's got some ace up his sleeve.
Guilty? Then you accept your part in these most heinous of all crimes, Reed Richards. You stand prepared and ready to face the full and irrevocable weight of Shi'ar law?
Not at all, Majestrix. I remind the court that the charge against me is that of willingly saving the life of Galactus. That action is documented historical fact. It would be pointless for me to attempt to disclaim it, and therefore I must plead guilty as charged. But the issue before this body is not whether I saved Galactus, but rather if doing so constitutes a crime. Of that, I can only say this. When Galactus first came to Earth, the Watcher told us he was not evil, that Galactus is in fact beyond good and evil. That statement has long troubled me. For if a being is truly neither good nor evil, he is by definition neutral. Yet Galactus is clearly not a neutral being. With increasing frequency, he feeds upon the life essence of whole planets. To inhabited planets, his effect is catastrophic, to say the least. How can any rational man judge that to be neutral? Albert Einstein once said that God does not play at dice. He meant that there is order of things to our universe. Galactus must somehow be part of that order, and I suspect an important part. For if he is truly to be considered neutral, then the apparent evil of his actions must, in the end result, not be evil. And so, they must be part of some greater good. I cannot believe he would be allowed to exist if this were not the case.
Is that your defense, Reed Richards, a child's game of arithmetic? Where then is your proof that the deaths of uncounted billions work toward a greater good?
Ultimately, I have no proof, Majestrix. I only have logic. Logic and faith.
Measure now the power of the intellect of this lone Earthman, for he has reasoned order out of chaos, and he has reasoned correctly, as will be shown with the testimony of my second witness. Look now to the center of the court.
Watcher, he came! He came!
And would have done so e'en without thy plea, lad. There are matters here that be of great concern to Odin.
Odin? Holy fraholies! The Watcher must have sent the torch to Asgard!
He's so imposing. We've all met Thor half a dozen times, but somehow I never made the connection. Asgard. The ancient Norse gods.
Remind me to be impressed when I get over being flabbergasted.
This witness is, I believe, known to the members of the court. He is called as an expert witness on the subject of Galactus. Are his credentials acceptable to the prosecution?
Yes.
Then hear the words of Odin, for the nature and origin of Galactus is known to us, as Galactus himself did say these words unto Thor, my noble son, and know all that they be true. Once there was a world of such magnificence that even Asgard might suffer in the comparison. Planet Ta, but for all its glories, it was a planet doomed. One man alone had the wisdom to know what so doomed them.
The plague that threatens us all has no cure, for it is the final plague of entropy. Our world, our very universe, is grinding to its end.
His name was Galen. Though he knew it not, he would become Galactus. Galen and a small crew left Tar, seeking out the center of their universe, that place where time and space ended. The universe became a giant black hole consuming itself, and into that center plunged the last of Tar, all there to perish, all save one. And to him, a voice beyond our comprehension whispered the sentience of the universe. No being can guess how long the man once called Galen lay in the embrace of a dying cosmos. But when that death gave itself as birth to our universe, the last ship of Tar was flung out, somehow remade, and eventually found by one of the Watcher's race. That Watcher studied the lone survivor that was once Galen of Tar. Studied, but did nothing to interfere. The last ship reshaped into a great incubator. Long did that silent cube drift as the universe grew around it and life spread. Then came that fateful day when the cube was opened and Galactus lived! Thus was born a new natural force, like the solar wind, like the supernova, like the rolling seas that tested our Viking worshippers, tested them and made them strong. Such is the function of Galactus. To each world in time he comes, and his very coming is a test. Those that fail, fail totally, forever wiped from the slate of time and space. The actions of Reed Richards were in no way criminal. Let this trial be at an end. So speaks Odin!
Woohoo! We did it! We won!
Hey, I knew the big brain would get cleared. I knew it.
It's almost too good to be true.
Just a minute, gang.
The prosecution respects the knowledge of the entity Odin, but he has no authority in this court. The trial does not end until a verdict of not guilty is delivered, and some remain unconvinced.
Then let's cut through the formalities, shall we?
Frankie! Sue, it's Frankie.
She's no longer truly Frankie Ray, Johnny. She belongs to the cosmos, and where she goes, Galactus is sure to follow.
1,000,000 and more eyes look upon him, and for each race the vision differs. Galactus is no longer a being in the absolute physical sense. He is, as Odin named him, a force of nature. Each mind that views him struggles as best it can to perceive that unguessable force as an image it can comprehend.
Galactus at last! 100 spans I have waited for this moment, for my vengeance! He ignores me? He does not know that his death is in this small weapon, a pellet that will begin a chain reaction, consuming his armor, unleashing energies, scattering his being across 1,000,000 cubic parsecs. I think there was no way to test. If it should fail, if it only annoys him.
Hear the words of Galactus. I bring no doom to those gathered here this day. I bring instead justice for that mortal I name friend. Reed Richards is a noble spirit, untainted by the pettiness of fear and hate. His deed was honorable and good.
So speaks Galactus. So speaks the cosmic truth.
Majestrix, have a care. I am sworn ever to protect you, but against Galactus, I have not the power.
Your words have no value in this court, Ravager. By naming him friend, you serve not to save Reed Richards, but to condemn him.
You are known to me, Lilandra, but I have consumed no Kiar world. Why trouble yourself in matters of no concern to you?
The matters here concern the fate of all life kind, Galactus, and I am sworn protector of all lives against the likes of you. And I reject your testimony unless to name it a final nail in the coffin of the accused.
I fear you have done more ill than good by your appearance here. Yet, still there is a chance that we might pluck salvation out of hopelessness.
I know whereof you speak, Watcher. Our power combined might peel away the veil and bring him to us.
Then so let it be done.
summons eternity.
Eternity? Dr. Strange told me of him. Incredible!
It is I who summon you, Father. Your power and knowledge are needed here this day.
Such things are known to me, Galactus. A mortal life hangs in the balance because your truth is doubted. So then, let the ancient book be opened. Let the minds of mortals have knowledge of the unknowable. Let the cosmic truth be told.
For a moment, fear and hatred are forgotten as in each mind there briefly flares a pure, touching soul and intellect alike. In that moment, the many are made one, as each mind is suddenly the same mind, each soul the same ageless soul. They walk for a while the path of Galactus, and find it long and hard indeed. They are the countless billions gone and yet to be, the joys, the sorrows, the glory, the pain. Through it all, they feel an overwhelming sense of purpose, a grand destiny. A universe shorn of Galactus is grand destiny snuffed out like a lone candle in a cold night wind. To all mortals present is this cosmic truth made plain.
Oh, and that's what happened, Mike. Eternity made everyone one with the universe, and we all just knew Galactus had a place in it. Lilandra, everyone, accepted that Reed had done what had to be done, and the FF and I were sent back to Earth.
Gosh, John. Maybe you've been inhaling too many pencil shavings. That's a wild story. Well, just get it on paper and off to me ASAP. FF fans are gonna plotz when they read this one.
Craft well your tale, John Byrne. Quickly. Already the full majesty of the cosmic truth is fading. No mortal mind can long contain such knowledge.
You mean we're all going to forget? Will Lilandra go after Reed again?
No. Only the ultimate truth will fade. The actions of Reed Richards shall remain unquestioned.
Oh, but what about Galactus? Is his task ended now? Or will everyone have to content themselves with just watching the next time he consumes a world?
To render things thus would be to rob life kind of free will. In all the cosmos, one being is deprived of that freedom. Galactus.
Well, then what will happen?
Galactus will go on. The testing will continue until that day he finds a world with power enough to stop him, to end his cosmic hunger. On that day shall Galactus perish. On that day, let the universe mourn.